What's going on, guys? Well, it finally happened. I got canceled again. So, as you guys know, I recently had a conversation with Mr. Girl, who is the same guy that made the Pro Cuties review back in 2020. It was a big story that Critical and Diesel Patches covered.
I don't think anyone on any side of the political spectrum should be advocating for a movie like this to exist. It does nothing to speak out against the sexualization of children and only contributes to the problem. Let me show you a review from a YouTuber who watched this movie, and let me show you what their takeaway was.
And, they're pretty hot. And, you know, you can say whatever you want about me. It's not my fault. I didn't make them do that. They did that. That's the point. That's the whole point of the movie, is that you're supposed to be sitting there thinking, look at the blonde one. You're supposed to be sitting there holding these two thoughts in your head, and one, that these are kids, and the other, that they're hot.
Oh, by the way, he's also a rapper.
Hi, cuties. Hi, what's up, cuties? I want to tell you bitches about my new favorite movie. It's called Hi, Cuties. Hi, cuties. It's about some 11-year-olds shaking their booties. Yeah. Hi, cuties. Hi, what's up, cuties? This movie is so good, it's freaking insane. Hi, cuties. Hi, cuties. It's the child porn equivalent of Citizen Kane. Yeah. Predators against dads. Repetitive Skillshare ads. I ended up buying 9 cats. I pet them like I'm petting my cats. Yo, I'm the new Amos Yee, and I'm on a new raping spree.
And since then, he's become a well-respected Twitch debater, although he's now banned from Twitch. And I decided to go on his show and confront him with some of his ideas. For those of you guys that don't know, Mr. Girl believes in empathy, and that includes empathy for non-offending pedophiles. I disagree, obviously. And that's kind of a large part of what we talked about. We also talked about other stuff too, like just YouTube in general and Dr. K, because he also has like a big problem with Dr. K. And to be fair, I agree with a lot of his points on Dr. K. I just disagreed with a little bit of the messaging. But for the most part, we talked about pedophilia. And you would think that me going on there to challenge him would have made people happy, or would have made people at the very least indifferent to it, right? But instead, what ended up happening is a bunch of people got mad that I was, quote unquote, platforming a pedophile and legitimizing them, basically, even though that doesn't make any sense. This is a guy who gets thousands of viewers. He's well respected. Yeah, his image isn't perfect. A lot of people think he's a weirdo, but a lot of people think that he's a legitimate debater. And instead of just screaming and pointing pedophile, I figured I would go in there and talk to him. People seem to think that I have an issue with talking to people who, you know, have crazy views, but this has literally been everything that I support. I promote talking to people with different views, so why would I not do it myself? Why would I not practice what I preach? People were asking me, would you debate Zero? Would you debate Mini Lad? Or would you argue with them or talk to them or something? And the answer is yes. Like, obviously. I don't know if I've ever said like otherwise. I don't know if I've ever said something that's different to that, but for some reason people really think that I'm a hypocrite or something, I guess. So without further ado, I talked a little bit about it on my Twitch stream today. As you guys know, I kind of moved my gaming stuff and my chill stuff over to Twitch. So follow me on Twitch. This is a highlight from stream today. Enjoy this. I was going to upload a more regular comedy video, but it's taking a little bit too long. So I figured I wanted to throw something up tonight. So instead, have a stream clip. And tomorrow, I'll have a regular video coming out for you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy. Take care. Dude, it blows my fucking brain that people actually thought I was being hypocritical and talking to Mr. Girl. They were like, oh, but you wouldn't do the same for Zero or Mini Lad. I'm like, what? Of course I would. Keemstar interviewed Swatistic, the guy that swatted somebody and got them killed. Do you think I had a moral issue that Keemstar platformed a murderer? No. Because the goal of him in platforming that guy was to expose him, which ended up being successful. Keemstar wasn't platforming the guy that swatted somebody, got somebody killed to suck him off or to hang out with him. No. And Keemstar wasn't even that heated in the call, similarly to how I wasn't that heated in the Mr. Girl discussion, right? Because not every conversation needs to be a fucking scream fight. You know what I mean? Especially when there's a greater purpose that can be achieved just by talking it out. You know? It's weird that this needs to be explained. It really is. I don't even think it does need to be explained. I just feel like I'm preaching to the choir. People who have actual brains understand this, but people that don't are just like, Ooga booga, you talked to Mr. Girl. Oh my God, you're hypocrite. You claim to be against pedophiles, but you talked to Mr. Girl. Oh my God, well, bet you wouldn't do the same thing for Zero. It's like, do you hear yourself talking? Because you sound insane. There's no own here. There's no win. The guy got aroused from seeing cuties. What the fuck is there to talk about? I don't know, dude. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know what there is to talk about. Considering that he is now one of the more highly respected Twitch debaters, considering he has 2 full channels dedicated to discussing his ideas, considering he's done multiple fucking streams and detailed videos and research documents and interviews, you know, considering that he's made so much fucking content promoting his ideas, what could there possibly be to talk about? I don't know, man. It's not like we had a 3-hour conversation about plenty of shit to talk about. Of course there's shit to talk about. What are you talking about? I mean, if you want to just talk about Mr. Girl and just be like, this guy sucks, he's weird. Sure. Fine. There's nothing really wrong with that. But if you want to have a more detailed conversation and actually challenge and confront and learn about people and why they come to conclusions that are strange like that, a conversation is where value comes from that. Okay, fam. So you came in here and you were like, what is there to talk about? And then you just got owned. Good one.
About what he thinks of Zero, as if there's any correlation to the first question. Then why did you harp so hard on technicals about Ice Cube and the pussy? And then he says it like 5 times, just with his slurring voice where he sounds completely brain dead. There's no correlation to what Augie thinks about technicals or what Augie thinks about Zero to answer the question, would you have a calm discussion with Zero? There is literally no logical correlation there. The only attempt at a logical correlation here is if you can use this hypothetical to prove Augie is inconsistent. But Sin just proved Augie's consistency, and that yes, he would have a calm discussion with someone like Zero just as much as he did with Mr. Girl.
And again, Willie Mack attempted to host a calm conversation with Zero. You know why? I'm going to ask you guys in chat right now. Why do you think Willie wanted to talk to Zero? It's a very simple question. Why do you think Willie Mack wanted to talk to Zero? To learn. To gather details. To get to the bottom of it. That's literally it. Why do you think I wanted to talk to Mr. Girl? I don't know. There's this buzzword going around, guys. It's called irresponsible platforming. Do you want to know what the definition of irresponsible platforming is? Irresponsible platforming, all right, is when you play somebody's content, you platform their ideas, and then you completely fail at challenging them. I am being accused of irresponsible platforming because I challenged his ideas, or I hosted a debate challenging his ideas with Bobox and Technicals. Meanwhile, all of these guys are platforming Mr. Girl's ideas and failing to challenge them. So actually, it's ironic that they're accusing me of being the irresponsible platformer. It's actually them. And it's not even just that's not even just me like trying to do a know you or something. I mean, that's literally true though, right? Because somebody's going to listen to a Sen stream or a Crow stream and hear them just scream at him and call him a pedophile. And most people are going to be like, yeah, true. I like that. I agree. Most people are going to agree with that. However, some people are going to hear that and be like, huh, you know what? I wonder what other content Mr. Girl has. And I wonder why he has such a big audience. And I wonder why he has such a hardcore fan base and such big support on Patreon. Surely he must be saying something that must be true. You know, and then they might go over to Mr. Girl's content and watch more of it. And Mr. Girl, who is objectively a very good persuasive speaker, might convince those people that actually his more niche views that previously they were repulsed by, now they more sympathize with, right? That's not irresponsible platforming. I mean, I don't really agree with the concept of irresponsible platforming, but if I did, then I would say that they're irresponsibly platforming him, right? Because they're failing to explain why, like, where the issue is. I explained what the issue is. You know, I talked to Mr. Girl about it specifically, and I outlined my problems with his worldview. They don't. All they do is just scream pedophile, which is, again, fine, whatever. Okay. But if you're going to make the irresponsible platforming argument, maybe don't be guilty of it yourself. I don't know. That's too subjective for me. Everyone has their own perspective on whether interesting points were made for anyone to come in and just declare was uninteresting for everybody. I mean, I'm just saying objectively, if you just, like, this is how, like, how do you think guys, like, this is an argument. Okay, here's an example, right? The other day, Aiden was posting, he was like, how the fuck does Nick Fuentes have a fan base? How is this possible? Every clip I see, he sounds insane. And I'm like, really, Aiden? Is this a question for you? You see insane clips of Nick Fuentes all the time. Most people do. And I would say like 95% people that see these insane clips, or like 90% or something, they're like, wow, this guy's insane. Lol. And they just move on with their day. But then there's like 5 to 10% of people that are like, wait a minute, hold on now. This sounds insane, but this guy has an audience, and he has a fan base, and he has support. Why? So then they go to his channel to figure out what the answer is. And again, Nick is masterful at persuasion. I don't really think it's that illogical of an argument to make, because they're making such a big deal of it. They're pointing at this guy and saying, this guy is a problem, guys. This guy, holy shit, this guy's insane, or whatever. But they have no substance. So, I don't know. It just seems kind of strange. I feel like, ironically enough, the thing that they're accusing me of, which I don't, again, let me clarify here. I don't agree with the concept of irresponsible platforming. I don't give a fuck. I think everybody is their own moral agent, and they can decide for themselves what the fuck they want to believe. However, if we do want to enter this weird worldview, it falls apart in front of them. They're guilty of it. They're more guilty of it than I am, by far. You know what? I actually just thought of a perfect example of this, right? Okay, 1.5 years ago, Mr. Girl blew up on the internet because he made a review where he said he found the girls and cuties hot. What did this prompt? What happened because of this? Critical made a video. Creepshow R made a video. Diesel Patches made a video. Everybody made videos pointing at the guy saying, whoa, look at this crazy pedophile. Holy shit, this guy's insane. And for a while, that worked. For a while, nobody wanted fucking anything to do with Mr. Girl. But then a year later, he had a conversation with Destiny. Got a lot of exposure. A lot of people were fascinated by his worldview. They saw it as refreshingly different, although maybe a bit disturbing as well. But even those people that were on the fence on Mr. Girl after that conversation, all they wanted to do was watch more of his content. And that's how he developed the fan base that he has now. A year ago, he was the #1 internet pedophile. Now, although his image is still shit, let's just be honest, it is, he has far more legitimized himself than anybody could have ever possibly predicted that he could have. And the reason for that is because most of the people that attack him lack substance in their arguments. So if you don't agree with me, then you need to open your eyes and realize Mr. Girl is not seen as like, but you know, Mr. Girl has a fan base, okay? And he didn't just get a fan base just by, you know, spouting crazy bullshit and people are just like, lol, true. No, he had to work for it. And now it's the responsibility of people that want to take him down to provide a counter. I'm not saying that my counter was the best. I'm not a debater. I'm not some philosophy bro. You know what I mean? I just know at the end of the day, what I believe in is true. And so we had a conversation and I heard him out. And then I explained, this is what I'm concerned about. If you make a society, if you create a society that does not look at sexual thoughts of children as an inherently negative thing, my concern for that is that people who do want to harm children, who have fantasies that exist beyond the brain, that are fantasies that they want to enact with real children and harm real children, my worry is that because we will live in a society that deems these people as not a problem, that they'll disguise themselves as the people who aren't the problem when they actually are. That was my concern. And that's what I explained to him. Has Sen or Crow or Grimsey or any of these other people, have they talked about this at all? I wouldn't know. I don't watch their shit. But the clips that I have seen have been largely unimpressive. All I've seen is people either lie about me, cry about platforming, or call him a pedophile. Oh, all right, sure. Cool. If that's what you want to do, fine. Go for it. But your main concern with me is that I'm legitimizing ideas that are harmful to society when all I did was challenge them and explain why I disagree with them. All you did was just cry and cope on your own stream. I actually went into I went into it and talked about it. All they did was cope. Okay, well, if you're going to cry about me, maybe be willing to do something about it yourself. If you're going to sit there and cry about this shit, do something about it. Because otherwise, fuck you. Like, otherwise just fuck you. Because you're not really concerned with the real problem here. You just want something to talk about for the night. Okay? But don't pretend to get morally outraged over it. Don't pretend to care about children when you're not willing to do the bare minimum to even protect them against these ideas. That's just my take on it. Hopefully you enjoyed that coverage there. Make sure to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/AugieRFC. That's where the chill streams are at. That's where the game streams are at. So follow me over there. I'm streaming a lot more right now, so you definitely don't want to miss it. After Hours will be posted this Friday at 6:30 p.m. It'll be live, so make sure you're there for that. Set your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to know more about this topic, go check out my friend Connor's video. Actually, Connor's been uploading multiple videos for the past week. He's been really grinding, so go check him out. Check out his channel, and yeah, let me know if you enjoy it. Anyway, that's all I got to say, everyone. Peace out. Funny video tomorrow, all right? None of this serious shit tomorrow, I don't think.